All right, folks, welcome back to another episode. I wanted to welcome my next guest. He's an amazing independent hip hop producer, hailing from Maine, known for crafting beats that shape very rich and immersive soundscapes with a knack for blending drums, textured samples, and atmospheric layers. RPM, or Matt Young, creates music that stands out for its depth and originality, resonating with both artists and listeners who value authenticity in the culture. I wanted to welcome Matt Young, aka RPM. How are you, brother?
Hey, good man. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for making time this evening to do your thing and sit here with me. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, hey man. So before we go into the amazing music that you make, I always like to talk about just the start of the music and how it entered your life. And so I was just curious. Yeah, in terms of, well, I guess let's go a little further back. Where were you born? Where did you grow up? And where do you hang your hat these days?
I was born in Maine in a town called Biddeford. I grew up also in Maine in a town called Dedham, um, basically on the side of a mountain that's a family farm.
Okay.
And now I still live in Maine in a town called Yarmouth.
Okay. Hey, how far is that from Portland? So I apologize for just not me
Oh,
being good with what Maine looks like.
oh yeah, no
Cities and
worries.
spread. Yeah.
It's super close. It's maybe about 10 minutes away.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So with that, what was your first exposure to music? What kind of music were your parents or your family members listening to at a young age?
So that's a good question. I think my parents listened to probably standard stuff, folk, rock, country. I think I got a lot of exposure to music in a really funny way through my grandmother. She was really into music.
Okay.
And she had her own specific sort of take on things, but she really felt it. So, and that was a lot of like, I don't know, like Johnny Cash
Yeah.
and Marty Robbins and stuff like that. Sort of like, kind of country stuff.
As you started to get into music, was that the music that you were looking for in terms of, you became a little older and you could essentially find the music that your parents were
I
listening to? Was that something you were drawn to as well, or something completely?
is something in the back, but it wasn't something that I was really necessarily drawn to. Now I'm sort of nostalgic for it, and I
Yeah.
just sort of have good memories about that. But I think, like most of the people our age, it was hip hop, and it came in really funny places. Growing up in a rural area,
Yeah, exactly.
um, you get people, it was sort of like word of mouth, or a cousin knew something, or every now and then you saw like a little snippet on in an ad or in some movie. But I remember probably like the first thing I ever had was a dub of like the Fat Boys.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, and oh, that was so good. And I haven't even listened to that in so long, but I remember
Uh,
they had like that Spider-Man song, and
oh.
that was it. That was so great. I
Yeah,
love that.
I don't think I've heard that one. But I did same thing. That's funny that Fat Boys was definitely part of my early menu in hip hop and rap. And the song that really sticks out is that one they did with the Beach Boys too,
Oh
Wipeout.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that was super cool.
yeah.
So now I got to look for the Spider-Man one. Holy cow, that's cool.
And I could be screwing it up. It could just be a lyric, but I remember like
Uh-huh.
listening, sitting in front of my parents' hi-fi and just listening to it like this is it.
Yeah.
This is the best thing. They don't know anything about this.
Yo, I love it, man. And those guys don't get sometimes I feel like the credit they don't deserve. So yeah, shout out to the Fat Boys.
Yeah, for real, for real.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. And so what other stuff? So you got your little taste of rap, and so that starts to grow. I see that you have an affinity for it and expands your taste. What other rappers were kind of early in Matt Young's menu in terms of stuff that he was liking and enjoying?
So you know, it wasn't like I can't say it was anything exceptional. Like I was really into the Beastie Boys, still am.
Yeah.
Love them. They're great. They've sort of like grown throughout their career.
Yeah.
Really interesting. I think ones that sort of like really hooked me early on. I worked in the mall at one point when I was
Nice.
young, and so I was right next to Tape World. I'm sure there are other people who
Uh,
had
yeah.
other places like that. So I would just go to that. I'd go to Tape World and just hang out and just like look at all the racks and racks of stuff. And I think sort of like the earliest stuff is like Rakim.
Yeah.
He's sort of the gold standard for me as far as
Yeah.
rappers.
Nice.
Um, I have others that are obviously faves as well, but that was pretty influential.
Yeah.
Um, what else? I don't know. It's a really good question. It was sort of all over the place.
Yeah.
They
Same.
like De La, Nas, just it's of a generation. People of that time sort of
Yeah.
doing that thing. I was sort of a dirty skater kid for like 15 or 20 years, so
Nice.
punk, hip
Yeah.
hop, some hardcore stuff, and just whatever was sort of floating around at the time.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. And so it's funny too, like in the transition of just music taste in general, you start with what your parents kind of like, and then you go into rap, and then you mentioned you did rap, punk, and rock, and so you're like, this is the only thing I'm gonna listen to. As you get older though, that mind state changes. So in 2025, the music that you like are you still in that phase, or is there do you like everything else, 80s, 90s stuff? Like what does your taste look like now and compared to a young Matt Young?
Man, I I'm probably way more open and have less rules about the things
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
should and
yeah,
shouldn't
sure.
like.
Uh-huh.
When you were younger, for like producing or DJing, you've got these rules like you can only do this one thing and it's got to be
Right,
from
right.
vinyl, it's got to be from this or that or whatever. And now my only rule, I guess, is like if I like it, I like it. And if I
Yeah,
don't, I don't.
I
And
like
even then,
that.
sometimes some things will just like hit wrong or be in the wrong context one time. And then, you'll be outside walking around and you just hear it again for another time.
Yeah,
So I, I just sort of try to stay as open as possible to it
yeah,
because it could hit me the right way some
yeah.
other time.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, when I listened to that folder that you sent me to, it was just the inspiration behind it. I could tell was drawn from many genres, and I felt you could use your music. I mean, I felt like your music wasn't just purely hip hop, and so it just yeah, it was a nice range, and that's why I like the versatility of the way that you make beats, and so that's cool. It
Oh,
makes sense.
thanks, man. Much respect.
Yeah, for sure. So cool. So hey, so you grew up the same time as I did, it sounds like, and you
Yeah.
mentioned a lot of the same artists. And so, I mean, you're known for being a producer, but was that it? So your entry into the culture, did you ever rap, break dance, graffiti, or was it just purely making beats?
Oh no, no. I think early on it was just trying my hand at rap. Like
Oh
I'm
no,
probably
no
like
kidding.
everybody. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, oh yeah. All
awesome.
sorts of really bad attempts, and some just fun. Like I was sort of on the outer edges of this punk group that was sort of like being formed and reformed a lot of times. And we
Yeah,
were all skaters, and we all hung out at each other's house and just made music or made like funny pause tapes or other things just to make each other laugh and just play at other people's birthday parties. And so
yeah.
I had like a really small part in a couple of different punk bands as the weird oddball out playing somebody's hi-fi stereo, just kind of like trying
Nice.
to cut on it.
Oh,
Um,
wow, nice.
oh yeah, it was
Fun.
something to
Yeah,
see. But it was fun. Like that was sort
yeah.
of the driving force for all of that back then.
That's
It
it.
was just, can you make your friends laugh? Is it fun?
Yeah,
And you know, how could you outdo somebody else? Um, so yeah, I think first forays were like pretending to rap or trying to rap, thinking you could and just knowing you can't. And then just finding an in with some of like the punk mentality of like, it doesn't matter if you don't know how to play, if you have like the feeling for it and you're trying to do something and you're playing in front of people who are of the like mind as you,
yeah.
um, then it's got sort of an audience. That's how like the whole RPM thing came about because early on, as like kind of the odd person out listening, like being really into rap, you were the rap guy. I don't know if you remember or if you were at the time where like liking rap was not necessarily the coolest thing. Like if you were into rap, it's sort of like, oh, I don't know. At least here,
Right.
it was a really small sliver.
Yeah, in Maine,
And
right?
so yeah, exactly. So I was Rap Master Matt, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta drop this. I have to figure out how
I
this
like
can
it.
like flip. So I was like, if I rearrange some of the stuff, RPM kind of works.
Yeah.
And like my buddies at the time were like, okay, they just went with that. And I'm like, okay, phew, got rid of Rap Master Matt.
So that's what happened. It evolved from Rap Master Matt to RPM.
Mm,
Yeah, and so
yep.
I thought I was like, man, wow, what does it stand for? And I asked you, a couple days ago, and I
Yeah.
maybe it meant like revolutions per minute for the record, and so
And
I just thought it was cool. I was like, yeah, that's pretty badass. I thought that's where it came from, but even cooler now. I like those old school names, and just it's a good time. Yeah,
yeah. It's like,
reminds you of
shout out to
the
Skate
fun.
Master Tate. I think that was probably some of the inspiration from some of my friends to do that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, before I jump into the rest of this interview, I have to go back quickly and peel back on your skating start too as well. So, I mean, you mentioned you skated a little bit too, 15, 20 years. And so, I mean, were you doing stuff like dropping off the half pipe too and doing all the moves? I
Yeah.
couldn't get myself to do
I
it, man.
it was I wasn't great, but I had serviceable skills. I
Yeah.
grew up on a farm, and
Okay.
so I had access to this hayloft, and we turned the hayloft into like this little tiny skate park. So we
Uh-huh.
built like a bunch of ramps and stuff like that,
Ah,
and
super cool.
we would sleep out there in the summertime. So yeah, we had access to all of that, and we would drive hours to some skate spot just because it had like fresh pavement, or there were the banks all set up, or there was this brand new bank that just opened up and it's closed at night, so we can go skate the curbs there because they're all slick from the metal and stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, I had like access to a homemade sort of indoor-ish area.
That's cool, man. I just remember they used to have half pipes at, wherever I was at. And it's like, oh, man,
Mm.
it's a big drop, man. So I would slide down, but that's awesome, man. Good deal. Well, hey man, so with that, hey, you dabbled into the culture and you were definitely a participant in all aspects in just the scene, like many of us were during that time. But at some point, something piques your curiosity into making beats. What was that in terms of like that caught your attention in producing?
Oh yeah. So like when I was working at the mall, I would also go to Mr. Paperback. I don't know if that was a thing. That might have been just regional, but it was a bookstore that sold magazines and stuff.
Okay.
And on my lunch break, I would go there and just, look at Rap Pages or the Source and
Yeah.
see what's up. It's
Nice.
cool. And in the back, they used to have advertisements for like Upstairs Records and other places that would sell equipment. And probably around the same time, I saw Juice, and I was like, "Oh my god,
Oh man.
this is this
Yeah.
is it. This is it.
Yeah.
This guy has like stuff in his bedroom, and he's making stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool." So I remember seeing like trying to match up the stuff that I saw in the movie to the ads in the back of the magazine. I'm like, "This has got to be it. I don't know what else." So that was like a Christmas present that I like begged my parents and my grandmother for. And so I got like this plastic turntable and this Gemini sampler. And I was off to the races. Before that, actually,
Yeah.
like, I think maybe I mentioned we were doing a bunch of pause tapes, but the pause tapes were so backwards. I had like this weird child, like this Happy Tunes record player
Uh-huh.
and a Radio Shack radio that had like an external mic, and we just
Okay.
like mic that up and pause it, rewind the record, mic it up and pause it again. And those are floating around somewhere in my room.
Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, um, yeah, in earnest, it was after I got that turntable and the sampler for Christmas. I think must have been like 92,
Yeah,
90, 92.
so I'm familiar with just the process of using it. So at a young age, I do even go about learning how to use the Gemini mixer, or I mean, the sampler with, was it just getting after it, right? Just messing with it, and I would have no
It
clue how to do it at a young age.
Yeah, and that was it. I had no clue. It was crazy because I had the turntable and I had the sampler, but I
Uh,
didn't have a mixer.
okay,
So the sampler had like a plug for phono in the back, so it had
right
a
for the
preamp and
record.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, but it had a toggle switch you could toggle to like tape. So essentially, I use that as like a transformer switch or something. So
Ah,
that's how I learned how to cut, is by cutting the like phono to tape. Yeah, I didn't get a mixer. mixer until years later.
Okay. And so just making beats, I know you started, like doing stuff with your friends in terms of like your little bands or acts of some sort. But when it came to like making beats, was that a solo venture or did you have another friend that was like, yo, I'm in, let's do it? And or was it solely just a Matt Young experience?
So when when I got the sampler, it sort of transitioned to my friend Brett and I doing like we had a group.
Okay.
We never really played anywhere or did anything, but we talked a lot of talk.
Yeah,
And so
that's fun.
he peeled off at nighttime from the punk band, and he would rap, and I would make the beats for that stuff.
That's
And
cool.
we just like made tons and tons of stuff somewhere,
Is
like
it is
packed
it
away.
still is it still alive somewhere in that room or that
Yeah, it's
ah so
all it's
cool.
completely like BC Boys derivative. It's
Yeah.
as like a 1-to-1 copy as possible, but
Yeah.
it was great. Like we had a lot of fun doing it.
Most definitely. So man, you were making beats even before the period where things like Fruity Loops and Acid Pro
Oh
became
yeah,
yeah, or at least entered the scene where you could get the free download and everybody could try it. So I mean you were OG at it then, man. And so
yeah, it was a
at
long
some
time
point
ago.
did you transition to Fruity Loops, Acid Pro, some of those initial beat programs?
Yeah, so I did the whole Gemini sampler and
Okay.
turntables for a while. I
Okay.
upgraded the turntables, and then in college, from like 96, 97 to 2001, I sort of started to transition because I had access to a computer then because of the school computer lab.
Yeah.
And they had like rudimentary recording stuff, and they had like digital music classes, which was a new thing back
That's
then. And
cool. Yeah,
everybody's like
yeah, it
talking
sure was.
about, hey, you could sample on this keyboard. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I got that. I'm curious and I want to know about the computer, like what's going on with that.
Yeah.
And so the school was networked and all the software was available on all the computers.
Yeah.
Um, and so I would just like pull whatever software I wanted on the computer in the computer lab and just try it out. And so they had, and these were all Macs. So they had a program called like Deck 2
Oh,
and Sound Edit 16. And those were
oh,
like a sound editor and a tracker at the time.
okay.
But there was no, like, you'd have to build everything. It was like using Pro Tools because there wasn't any sequencing. You had to line it all up by hand.
Yeah.
And so you had to match up like BPM for time.
Yeah.
And that was sort of a funny kind of weird calculation. I got songs from back then that where the time just sort of starts to drift because
Yeah.
I'm lining it up that way. But during that time, I hook up with a guy named Greg Young, and no
Yeah.
relation to me. And he was either he was getting a graduate degree. I can't remember if he was getting his doctorate or his master's in psychology, but the guy is brilliant. He's like he can play almost any instrument. He has like
Hey.
music theory for days.
Yeah.
And he was into sampling, and I had this communications course that I was taking at the time, and she was friends with him, and she said, "Hey, you should really meet my friend Greg." And so I went over to his house, and he was married at the time, and I was obviously just a college kid. I'm like, "Whoa, you are doing everything." He had like the Akai 950. He had sort of a Mac, an early version of Logic on the Mac as a sequencer for it.
Yeah.
He had the Roland VS880 like tracker, that 8-track. And so he had everything going on. And I'm like, I'm going to do that. That's how to do it. I need to sort of get away from this sampler, even though I loved it and I was always dreamed of getting an MPC. I never really owned one. I've used them, but I've never had one. I
Yeah.
went straight from sampler, the Gemini sampler, and I had a like a weird Yamaha SU10 in between, and then went straight to Logic. So I started using. I don't know if you're familiar with Logic,
Yeah.
but
Absolutely.
that was in '98.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to nerd out, I've been using that since '98,
Yeah.
before Apple owned it.
You gave me a year range that is near and dear to my heart. So you said mentioned about 96, 97 to 2001. Were those the years
Yeah,
you went to school, college? Yeah, that's the same
Yep.
period, at the same time. I'm a 97 guy to '01. So
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, dead on. And then yeah, you mentioned 98, 99. About the same time I was doing the same thing in California. And so a couple things I want to ask you and peel back on what you had mentioned. So at that point you enter college and you've been doing beats for a little bit. Were you at that point confident enough to start telling people that you made beats and were trying to get rappers to rap on it, or were you still like developing your
Uh,
craft?
yes and no. I was about like meeting other people, and those other people would tell people that I did stuff.
Hmm.
So I managed to hook up with a couple of DJs at the
Yeah.
time in college. One of them I'm still I'm actually still friends with most of them now. And they sort of helped me do the rounds and find other people, and we all kind of hooked up intermittently between each other
Yeah.
at different people's apartments and stuff like that. For a little while, I lived on campus, and so I just like leave my door open, and people would walk by and see
That's awesome.
turntables and eight
Yeah.
track stuff, and hoping like maybe somebody's gonna walk by and they're into it and they'll talk
Yeah.
to me about it.
Oh,
Um,
super cool.
the the guy that I met, Greg, we ended up forming a group in college, and it was like this, largely inspired by like DJ Shadow and some of the
Yeah.
like instrumental hip hop stuff at that
Yeah.
time.
Headphone
And
people.
we, yeah, exactly. And that was about the same time too that I started getting on the boards and talking to
Yeah.
some of the Anticon guys, uh, because there was this funny connection. Um, my buddy Ben Weinstein brought over like an Anticon tape, and he
Okay.
was going to school in southern Maine, so it was a little way from where I went to school. And
Yep.
he brought the tape back, and he's like, "Oh, some of these guys are from Maine." I'm like, "What?
That
How
was,
do I
yeah,
not know them?
that's
That's
crazy.
crazy." So after knowing that, I hopped up on the boards, the Anticon boards, and just started chatting it up with people. And I sort of started talking to Controller Seven, Tommy,
Okay.
and
He
Mood Swing.
he's not from Maine. Is he from Maine?
No, Tommy is from
West Coast, right?
yeah, he's from, like San Jose, San Diego, some
Okay.
San Jose, I think,
That's what
something
I
like
thought.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dave Mood Swing Nine is from Portland, Maine,
Trip. Oh,
and
I didn't know he was. I knew
yeah,
Elias was from Maine too, right?
yeah, Alias
Mayonnaise. Yeah.
and Chris, who I'm doing stuff with now in Waxfed, DJ Mayo is from Maine,
Yep.
and so Soul too. He was
Yep.
on our last Waxfed thing,
Yeah.
but Dave Mood Swing reached out to me when I was on the Andycomp boards, and so I sent him a tape of stuff I was doing, and just regular beats and stuff I was doing with headphone people too. And
Yeah.
so we started talking back and forth a little bit, and that was cool. It was great. It was great to get somebody who I thought was like, "Oh, you're in California. You're really doing it out there. You've got a label. You
Yeah.
have everything going on."
Yeah.
So it was good to sort of like have that camaraderie and sort of like chop it up, even if it was online, which
Yeah.
now everything is. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, hey, that's cool. And that was some of the stuff I wanted to ask you about because you did the wax fed product, or I mean project in 2023, I think was when you
yep,
guys did that last one, you and Mayo. And so that was quite cool. But then yeah, I just I noticed that you're all from that Maine area within 2 hours. And so yeah, that's kind of cool that that Maine in general had that scene growing the same time. And it was just really cool to,
yeah.
I'm very interested in the, just the origins of hip
It
hop.
was.
So
It's really funny because I've had conversations with Dave and Chris a couple of times because Dave's come back and we always like hang out. That you know, it was all happening sort of at the same time,
crazy.
separate from each other.
Yeah,
Like, so West Coast, like you guys, you were doing your thing, and I'm sure there were like pockets that didn't know about
exactly.
anybody else, but it was sort of at the same time as like a cultural kind of
Yeah.
lift for everybody. And so talking to them, like getting their perspective and finding out what they were doing and finding out that, you're kind of doing the same thing at the same time, but you never connected. It was weird. It was
Yeah.
just such a funny sort of like shared moment, but never, sharing the space.
Yeah, and so I get a kick out of this passion project because I want to dive into those pockets. This is totally what I'm doing right now is like, hey, what was the
Oh,
scene
sure.
in Maine like and wherever Canada and so it just I love it, man. It's great to hear all these stories on how you connect. And you mentioned that, you drew inspiration kind of from DJ Shadow too as well. You worked a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
with
sure.
the Anacon guys too. And kind of see that too, some of the trip hop influence that you have and just yeah, I love it. Like I mentioned, you got a very unique sound that I like. And again, I'll talk
Thanks,
about
man.
this awesome folder that I got my hands on. So yeah, it's super cool. So with that, how are you digging for your breaks? So I see that you have an amazing shelf of vinyl behind you and just, you know,
Oh, yeah.
oh man, I would love to
Yeah.
finger through those records. But yeah, so are you big in just like collecting samples, that way, or are you doing them online now, which is super easy to do it online, right? But
So it's now it's funny. Like what you see behind is like a third of what I used to have
oh
when we
dang.
moved.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I sort of got rid of a lot of it, but I think starting out it was just like all digging. You learning the rules. You're
Yeah,
just
the
sort of like
rules.
checking everything out. You're like, it has to be from this period to this
Yeah.
period. You know, don't show anybody anything.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Share
right.
like
Don't tell anybody where the sample's from. Yeah.
right. Don't say you can only sample from vinyl. You can't do like I can't even sort of delineate all of them because honestly, they built up and then they changed as they went. So hardcore digger early on talking to Mood Swing, Dave was like a fountain of information. The guy is super deep. Like
Okay.
anybody will tell you, like anybody who knows Dave knows that Dave was up on all the records way back. And so he hit me
Wow.
to a lot of stuff and gave me sort of like the lay of the land in this area after he moved.
Yeah.
And I just sort of also kind of found my own spots. There were plenty of places to find records in Maine at the time.
Okay.
If you knew where to look, and I wasn't really competing with anybody.
Yeah.
So like in the real like throes of the whole backpack thing, like if you want to say it was 96 to I don't know 2000 maybe I could be wrong, but it felt like it was just me. So go in there and get records from basically everybody, and it was all dirt cheap.
Yeah.
And so you're just like piling it on, and
Yeah.
it took forever to go through stuff because you were just like voracious at the time. You were just like, I gotta. This looks dope. I gotta
Yeah.
get this. Somebody else is gonna grab it. It's all in my mind. Nobody's
Yeah.
gonna
The
grab it.
cover is
But
dope, right? Yeah. And
yeah.
I'm like, oh, this has to have an awesome sample. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, Now it's sort of a mix of like just I think like anything, it's just whatever grabs my ear. I'm
Yeah.
not I don't care where it comes from anymore.
Yeah. Sure.
As long as it's dope. I think there are still some things that are hard to let go. Like if somebody has used it, it's kind of like it's
Yeah.
a little hard. But you know, if you can figure out a way to flip it, or if you just are really compelled to do something with it,
Okay.
sometimes I'll just make it just to make it and not like put it out or put it up on social media or anything like that. Just to do it as like a fun exercise and sort of live in somebody else's shoes for a little while. Be like,
Yeah.
oh, I get how they did that,
Yeah.
or why they used it or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I try now to do like equal parts like my own stuff and samples or just straight up my own stuff because the tools are such now that like all the instruments are on the computer. Like if I want to sequence out a bass line or
Yeah.
drums or piano line, there are infinite instruments that I can, like clumsily peck my way through and find
Yeah.
out what works and what doesn't. So
Yeah. Man, you just dropped a lot of awesome stuff there. You talked about the rules. That's so true. Just like, hey, we find this record. Don't tell anybody where the sample's from, and yeah, just the way
yeah,
that people pick records. That's awesome. I remember distinctly thinking that too, because I would MC. I tried making beats, but that didn't go very far. But it was the same thing. I was trying to find that gem record and.
oh
Uh,
yeah,
I wanted to be the only one to own it, or so that was funny. It really cracked me up. but yeah, you're right. I mean, yeah. Also, yeah, that one rule you mentioned just about if the sample has been overly used, but you still like it. I feel that way about the Jackson Five's music. Just a lot of people have used those their songs, and but I love the samples or the potential for the beats that they could create. And so, yeah,
Yeah,
I think early on I asked a couple people to try to use that, and it was kind of the same thing. There was some resistance because people had used it already and it was overly used. But man, I feel you.
yeah. Everything has kind of been. I don't know. This isn't a cynical take, I don't think, but like everything's been done.
Yeah,
It's just how are you going to put your spin on it? And
great
I'm
point.
honestly the last person to talk about this because I'm sure I've done my share of biting, and obviously there are people who have much deeper crates and much like deeper knowledge on things, but it's like I'm doing it because it's fun.
Yeah,
So
heck
as soon
yeah,
as it as soon as it loses its appeal, then I guess I'm done. But
yeah.
it hasn't since. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, and can you tell me real quick the origin of the name Headphone People? I love it. Who came up with it, and what was the story,
Uh
the making of that name?
oh man. I think it I don't know who came up with it. Probably not me. It was probably Greg,
Uh-huh.
but it was just it was sort of a comment on like how we made music in general because we always wore headphones. I was driving like this shitty red Cavalier at the time, and it had
Yeah.
no radio in it, so I only drove with headphones on
Okay.
everywhere, all the time.
I love.
People knew me when I was driving around campus. They're like, "Oh, there's Matt," because it was just a guy with headphones on, and they were, I like the era of the giant headphones. Like if you could
Wow.
find a pair of cheap cost headphones that were like this big,
Yeah,
they're like, yeah, that's what I'm wearing.
that's
I'm
it.
just like blocking everything else out.
The bigger,
Yeah,
the
so it was
cooler.
kind of yeah, exactly, exactly.
No, that's great. And you, so now I just want to dive into, more of your music that you did. So you, sounds like about late 90s, you kind of enter the scene more, or at least your presence is more prominent. And so you've done some music that really, really awesome, right? And so another guy that is also near and dear to my heart is Nomar Slevik, good buddy of mine too, as well. Another fellow Maine guy. Are you friends with him too?
Yeah, I used to talk to
Or?
Paul. I haven't seen him in a while, but
Yeah.
yeah, I did some stuff with him.
Yeah.
I used to hang with him. Sort of, there was some rap nights that they had in Portland that
Yeah.
everybody would go to, and you'd see whoever came through that night. He would like randomly stop by my house sometimes,
I
like
love
after
it.
work. I think he was just sort of driving through.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Paul's a great guy. He's super sweet. He's
Yeah.
nice. He's got super varied interests.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Dude, yeah, yeah, he's definitely an interesting guy. Yeah, so I finished just doing some music with him too as well. We released a couple singles, but yeah, he's from Bangor, right? Which is about 2 hours. So wow, he made the drive out to Portland and stuff too as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's funny because like that's closer to where I grew up.
Ah, gotcha.
So I used to live in Portland, which is about 10 minutes from here. And so he would, yeah, I guess he commuted. That's funny you mentioned it because I never really put two and two together.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that is a long way to drive.
Yeah. And he told me too when when I talked to him and I had him on the show too, he had mentioned
Oh,
he was
okay.
like the rap guy in Bangor too. So it's funny. He had his own pocket too, and that's cool that your pockets eventually fused. And I love the songs that you did, Molecular War, and then the stuff from Ammonia too was really cool. Or the
Oh, nice.
yeah, yeah, that single Ammonia, which had the hard hitting drums. And his style is great. It's like rap rock. I just like when he gets into that, that
Yeah.
voice that he does. It's oh man, he's amazing. So I love doing music with that guy. Really unique. So yeah, you guys sound great together.
Oh, sweet. Thanks. I
Yeah. Did,
appreciate
did
that.
you do that music with him in that period, or was that more later on in the early 2000s?
That was in the early 2000s. That was
Okay.
probably like 2005,
Oh, oh, okay.
2004, 2005, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Were those just digital tracks, or did they make it out on hard copies anywhere? That's really cool
I,
music.
I think he put out a CD.
Okay.
I want to say he did
Okay.
with
Maybe the ammonia
milled.
track. Uh,
Yeah, I think it was with this group, Milled Pavement.
Oh wow.
I think, yeah. Not positive. Don't
Super
quote
cool.
me.
Yeah, so hey, I enjoyed that. I'm a big fan of both y'all, so that was great. And then you did a remix too for Quell and Maker too. Was really cool, right? For Holler. And so how
Oh
did
yeah,
yeah, how did that happen? How did you guys connect with well, how did you connect with them to do the remix?
I met, or so digitally met. I don't know, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
So Maker and I sort of started talking after or during the whole bully thing. Um, I did a couple on bully, and I think he did one or two on bully as well.
Okay.
And we all were kind of in the same group of people. He was on the
Yeah.
boards. This was Soul Strut time. I don't know if you were on the Soul Strut boards at all.
Oh, I wasn't, but oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Those
Yeah.
those boards
So
are
there
amazing.
was a ton of people on the Soul Strut boards at the time, like Controller 7. I think Scotty was on there,
Yeah.
I think,
Okay.
um, and Marco. And
Yep.
so he came through town with his group Glue,
That's right.
um,
Him, ADM, and
with,
EQ. Yep.
yeah. And so ADM used to come up when he was with him at the Dorian 3 with him and Shaylin.
Okay.
I think, no, it was just him and Shalem, not the Dorian 3. And he would come up to Portland and do shows and like open up for some of the Andycon guys and have his own stuff.
Yeah.
And we hooked up. And so there was sort of like this triangulation between
Yeah.
ADM and me and Maker.
Yep.
And I ended up doing a remix for Glue
Yeah.
for one of
Belmont and
their,
Clark. That was cool.
yeah. And that, I that just continued the relationship that we
Yeah.
sort of went back and forth with Maker. I did this one side on his triple release of Maker files.
Okay. Wow.
So that was me and Maker, and then he did one side, and then a guest person did another. So it was me, Joey Beats, and Scotty Matelick,
Okay.
or Metallic. I can't. I'm awful
Yeah.
with names, man.
Scott Metallic. Yeah. I'm not sure how to
Yeah.
either, but yeah.
Uh, and then I think from there, he a little while later when they did another Coil Maker thing, he asked me to do that. So he sent me the stems, and that's
Yeah.
the one that came out.
Yeah. Super cool. And then the remix you did for Glue was really awesome too, as well.
Oh,
Just
thanks, man.
music. Yeah. And then Wax Fed, the project you did with Mayonnaise. You have an amazing list of projects that you put together. And so, yeah, and then I was just excited just to hear the folder of beats that you shared, and yeah, really good stuff, man. How do you find the time to still make music with, just work and family? Is it easy to find the time to do it, or do you almost have to regiment your time and schedule to fit it in?
It, I guess probably a little bit of both.
Okay.
Usually, I go out into my car at lunchtime and I'll hang out
Okay.
stuff.
Dude, that's
um, yeah, a long time ago, when I worked, I've had a bunch of different jobs, and so sometimes wouldn't afford me the time. So I would wait for the kids to go to bed and then
yeah.
go into the basement and make stuff. But my kids are in their 20s
Okay.
now, so one of them's graduated and the other one's going to graduate in a couple of years from college. So my I have time, just
Yeah.
sort of put it together when I can.
Yeah, very, very cool, man. Yeah, I wanted to ask you that too earlier too, was when you were making beats, how was your family with that? Like, your mom and dad and siblings, if you have any. Was that something that you kind of kept secret, or were you open
You
about it,
know,
family?
uh, I think like early on, like at the end of high school and through college, I talked about it a lot. There were some articles that came out in local papers and stuff where they did um, sort of stories on us, and my parents sort
Fantastic.
of thought that was interesting because they had a mindset like a lot of parents, I think, at the time, like, oh, rap's a fad. It's a fad like all the other things. That's not going to
That's
last.
right.
And then it just like keeps going, and the whole culture explodes. Um, but sort of after that, like just into adulthood, regular working, I don't really tell people much, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah,
I
right.
just I just do my own thing,
That's
and
right.
I just connect with like-minded people. A lot of the time, they're not where I am, so the
Yeah.
internet is great for that.
Yeah. That's it.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sort of a hermit.
No, no, I hear you. Yeah, I know it's much more different now that we're a bit older. And again, we're probably the same age, if not plus or minus 1 year or 2 years. But yeah, just doing your
Yeah,
thing, and then however it gets into the hands of other people, you just kind of send it off to the wind, right? So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I know what you
It
mean.
my If you'll ask Chris, he'll probably tell you like I'm not super interested in a lot of the business side of it because
Yeah,
I'm not trying to make a living off of this. I'd rather
right.
just keep do it for fun and
Yeah,
like however it gets out, it gets out. That's great.
yeah,
And if it doesn't, okay, it's
yeah.
sort of a like your own private kind of therapy.
Yeah, I think I see it that way too for me. And so one thing some of my peers will get on me about is that, hey man, you don't promote your stuff too much. Like I'll post it like once, like, hey, this is out, and then there isn't really much follow through. I'm just like, hey, I'm done. For me, I'm just like, that was great. That was great to make. Felt good to get it out. And that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
On to the new project. I'm not thinking about like trying to extend the promotion life, so that I feel you on that 100%. So you're not alone in that mind state. I'm the same way.
Yeah, and I mean, huge respect to anybody who is out there doing that.
Yeah,
That's
of course.
such a grind.
Yeah, no,
It's
no,
so hard, so hard.
no, yeah, and certainly it was not to bash anybody who does that. I certainly respect the grind too. That's just kind of like my approach to it, right? So
Oh yeah,
so therapy wise too as well. It's kind of just the way I look at it these days for sure. But with that also, how do you find the inspiration to still make music, right? So it's great. Probably empty nesting soon, and so just
oh yeah.
at this point, you probably need to make music, huh?
It's yeah. It sort of comes and goes. It
Right.
depends on you know, just like whatever's happening with you at the time. Sometimes
Yeah,
the your energy is sapped from other things that are going on, and sometimes
yeah,
they're peaked by other things that are happening. It's usually external forces or just kind of like stuff you're listening to, or you re-listen to something that you did a while ago
yeah,
and it spurs you to hop back into a session. I know
mhm.
the process that I sort of have is like I try to get it out as quickly as possible and
Yeah,
then stop when I am not feeling it or it's not feeling fun. And I don't want to get frustrated by it, but I'll store it. And
yeah,
then I just get like a backlog of, I don't know, like a hundred sequences of things. And you can pick through and then you're sort of like, you're the librarian. You can go through and start arranging things or be
yeah,
like a vicious editor of what you did in the past and then kind of build it and work on it and see if it has any legs at all.
yeah, 100%. Well, dope, man. It was definitely fun going through your music, and I got much more that I need to listen to. But I also want to dive into just the other side of Matt Young too. And so I know you mentioned that you are super big into woodworking and gardening. And so how long have you been doing the woodwork stuff?
That's relatively recent. It's
Okay.
probably the past couple of years.
Okay.
There was an ask that I get all my crap out of our garage, and so I got a shed, and the
Uh-huh.
shed needed to be filled with stuff. And um, my day job is I'm an art director, and my whole life I've just sort of like made things. I like just making stuff,
Yeah, sure.
and I'd rather spend the effort and time putting my energy to making it than buying something.
Yeah. Heck,
Um, and with that, like, you know, if you want to make things out of wood, you've got to have some tools. If you have some tools, are you going to buy the old ones or the new ones? The old ones are really cheap, but
yeah.
you have to tune them up and you have to restore them. And that in and of itself has been like a whole process that I really like. It's
Sure.
kind of like meditative and you go through like restoring that. And then you have one bit of the puzzle to make something else. And so I made, I made a chair a little while ago,
Dang.
which came out great. It was a lot of fun, and I have other stuff that I'm kind of making around the house. I'm working on a stone patio right now. I tore down the deck and
That's
just
awesome.
like grown up shit.
Yeah. No, that's great, man. So, I mean, you're probably doing all the sanding, staining too. Have you dived into that aspect too of
Oh
woodworking?
yeah, finishing.
Final, yeah, final pieces.
Yeah, uh, all this stuff. Like if your parents never taught you or you didn't grow up learning it, like it's YouTube is there. It'll
Yeah,
teach you. You just have to watch hours and hours and hours of it and be
yeah,
willing to like jump in and try it.
that's
But yeah, so when I built the chair, I bought all the raw lumber. So the chair that I made was out of cherry,
uh-huh.
and it was
Nice.
um, it needed to be milled. So I bought a couple of different planes and planed it down to thickness, and just went to town, made the templates, cut those out, finished them.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just I don't know. It's a the skills of like making a chair versus making beats to me seem pretty transferable because they're all
Yeah.
like
Systematic, right?
putting
Process driven.
putting things together in a way that makes sense and is sort of pleasing.
Yeah. That's some good life skills. Just some good man skills, I think.
Yeah,
All
right.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Just
yeah, no,
make stuff.
that's super cool. So is the chair probably your biggest piece that you've made, and now you're just kind of starting to expand that portfolio of things that you've made? That sounds
Yeah,
fun,
yeah,
man.
definitely. I made um I'm making a match for it. So we ordered the cushions and stuff like that. It's a mid-century chair. It's a
Wow,
um thing. If I had photos, I'd send them to you. But yeah, uh,
super
yeah,
cool.
I don't know. It's just it's a good thing to do in the wintertime because it gets cold in Maine. So
Yeah, yeah, and
go outside.
is the raw wood expensive too? The
It's
starting.
cheaper than the milled stuff. So
Oh,
that's another
yeah,
like sweat equity thing. Just
yeah.
put the labor in and you can get the money out.
Wow. Yeah, and I mean, even treating it is a big deal too, right? So that, termites don't get into it. I know I bought like this wood piece when I was in Asia, but I don't think it was treated. And so like bugs start getting to it. So that I guess that's another science to it too as well, right? Is that something that you're thinking about too as well?
Yeah, like sometimes the finishes make the piece. You can
Yeah.
spend all the time just getting everything right and the joinery is perfect, and then you're haphazard with the finish and it just doesn't feel right. Like
Okay.
when you make things, you have to consider what the purpose is. And for a chair, somebody's sitting in it, so it has to be comfortable. They put
Yeah.
their hands on top of it and they're like, oh, it shouldn't feel like crap on the top. It should be smooth and nice and have like great curves. And the finish is like the last part. It's the first thing that people touch and the last thing you do.
Yeah, that's super awesome, man. Yeah, hey, yeah, yeah, man of many talents. You told me too also that you're into gardening too as well, and you got one that you tend to. I don't know if it's on
Yep.
weekends or daily, but yeah, are you big into gardening, or is that just out of necessity because you have
Oh, it's
your house?
it. I think I like carrying a little part of that thing that I sort of grew up with
Yeah,
wherever I go. So yeah, it's the garden is not for subsistence at all. It's just a kind of a passion project. It's not super fancy. I like doing my own thing out there.
yeah,
If I don't want to do something, I don't do it. If I
yeah,
want to grow something else, I do.
yeah,
Um, uh, yeah, it's great. It's again, it's sort of like another kind of um, I don't know. It's like a therapeutic process to go
yeah,
through and get your hands in the dirt and grow stuff that you eat. I don't grow things because they're beautiful. I grow them because like there's some you get some utility out of it, even if you're not like growing a lot of it.
yeah,
So you can go out like in the morning time and just grab something and just eat it, and you get a sense of satisfaction out of that.
yeah. Heck yeah, yeah. I mean this.
Yeah.
What do you grow in your garden?
Oh, a lot of stuff. So
Super
I've
cool.
got so Japanese sweet potatoes, growing
Wow.
edamame,
What?
tiger melons.
Dude,
Yeah. Um,
awesome.
some shishito peppers, lots of different greens,
Okay.
um, hops, because I brew beer like everybody from our generation at some
Yeah.
point.
Dude, so you just caught me with that edamame. So is that you grow the edamame and do you have to do any further treatment to that, or is that, it grows and then you just wash them and they're ready to eat?
Yeah, it's I
That's
mean it's
great.
they're just soybeans, but
Yeah.
there's infinite variety of soybeans and
That's super awesome, man. And then I see you drinking that glass of beer too, man. And I know you're a big brewer of beer. You've been doing it, yeah, for 10 years. Is there any, I guess, do you have a unique ingredient that you've ever experimented with beer making, or are you a pretty standard guy when it comes to like brewing beer? Or do you like testing the possibility
uh
of flavor?
I'm not too wild with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody has ever been to like Portland or Maine or the surrounding area. It's a maybe like a lot of other places, it's a big beer town. So
Okay. Yeah.
there's great beer. Anybody who wants to come to Portland, you'll have great beer all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, as far as like weird stuff, not nothing too crazy, like coriander, maybe
Okay.
making like a Belgian white,
Nice. Hey, do you brew them in large quantities? Just
maybe about like 5 gallons, not a ton,
okay.
enough to fill a keg.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And then that lasts you for how long?
Depends on how good
It
it is.
depends, I guess. It
Yeah,
depends.
depends
Yeah.
on who comes over.
Yeah, no, that's great,
Yeah.
man. Well, hey, man, I mean, I'm sure collectively it's way cheaper to brew your own beer then, right? And do you buy the bottles or how do you store them?
It I keg, so I used
Oh,
to do
okay.
in the bottles, but now
Got it.
everything is in the keg. As far as like cheapness, it depends. I would say it might come out to be about the same, maybe roughly cheaper. It
Okay.
depends on how good you are and how regularly you're doing it.
Yeah.
It can be a real time sink to do like a batch to brew it
Yeah.
without like going through the fermentation and stuff. It can take like 4 to 5 hours.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that's like a good part of one day on the weekend.
Nice. Hey, that sounds great, man. And it's yeah, you get to put your personal touch on that too. But you have a lot of different courses of action to escape and enjoy and just to, relax the brain. I love it, man. So yeah, I find that pretty cool, man, that you can do gardening, woodworking, music, or just making beer or family or whatever the case may be. But it's always good to have those outlets, and I like that about you, man. It's super cool.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's good to have something to do.
Yeah.
Like doing one thing the whole time for me would be, I don't know, I couldn't do it. I
Yeah.
like to have my hands in a bunch of different things.
Yeah, I mean, you brought it up earlier. If you get sick of making beats, you put it aside and then you can go to something else pretty cool. So super awesome,
Yeah, yeah,
man.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, with that, dude, just amazing, amazing, amazing learning experience for me about you and who you are as a person and the music that you make. And I appreciate just giving me a deep dive into how Matt Young or RPM became who he is today. I appreciate the deep dive into you as a human and just an amazing human being. Super fun, man. And as I mentioned earlier, I love the music that you make. I'm excited to do some work with you too as well. Finally settled in, so I'm gonna dive in and start trying to get this music down with you. But yeah, hey, thank you for that opportunity. And as we come to wrap up this interview, I always like to close out with just some fun questions, some
All
lighthearted.
right.
So I think we'll close it like that. So if you're ready, my first one, and Nomar kind of gave me a clue into this one. But for you, does your state have any slang words that are unique to Maine only? Is there one that you know that you use heavily, or one that is like, oh yeah, that dude's from Maine?
Oh man, there are so many, and I'm probably gonna get clowned. I'm gonna get clowned for not knowing the right one right now.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I mean, there's the the one that everybody says is like "aya."
Yep, that's the one that yeah,
Yeah,
that Nomar gave me. That's
yeah,
awesome. That's a
which
good
is
one.
it's just yep. That's what it means. It's just like an agreement.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. All right, for you, would you rather it be too hot or too cold?
Too cold.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can always layer down if you need to, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right. Hey, I'm
Yep.
always interested too. What I love talking to folks about. All right, food. What is Matt's favorite dish or favorite thing that he likes to eat?
Oh, soup.
Soup. All right. Yeah. Any
Soup.
particular flavor or
Oh man, I love all soup. If I could eat soup every day and that's it, I'd be fine.
nice. Okay. All right. What about favorite pasta shape?
Oh man. Uh, what's it called? Cavatelli.
I don't even
It's sort of like it's like a spiral macaroni that has like lines on it
know.
as it goes through.
All right.
Yeah, that's great. That's a good one.
I'm boring. I'm just the string guy. So, and that
Oh
question
no.
actually was from my daughter, right? It's like, help me come up with some funny questions. And she's like, this is a good one. I was like, ah, cool. All right. So yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So great. All right. Hey, this one too. All right. When it comes to noodles, do you like the red spaghetti sauce or white Alfredo sauce?
Oh, I love both, but I mm, I think my wife would kill me if I didn't say red sauce. So
Okay.
say the red sauce.
All right. Hey, do you like water at room temperature or do you like your water cold?
Oh, cold,
All right, why's that? Do
cold.
you have preference? I mean, why's that
Um,
preference?
oh, I it came into sharp relief that I love cold water. When we went to China, um,
Right.
we 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 would get water and nobody would give you ice, and we would have to ask for ice, and they would give you one cube. It's
Yeah.
like, we must be the Americans here. We're just like we want ice all the time. But yeah, so I learned I really like cold water. Icy.
That is funny. I think now that you mentioned it, that I think that's the same way I found out that normally, probably mostly around the world, they serve it room temperature. So
Yeah.
it's like, hey, I like water cold. Yeah. Hey, that's funny. What part of China did you visit?
We went to Beijing,
Nice.
Xi'an, and
Oh,
then
cool.
Shanghai.
Ah,
Yep.
nice. Same. Yeah. Saw the Terracotta Warriors in Xi'an
Oh yeah,
and
it's
do the
amazing,
yeah.
amazing. I would
Oh,
go
dude,
back in a heartbeat.
unreal. Yeah. When was this? How long ago?
This was in 2019.
Oh, not too long. That's not too long ago. Yeah. I mean, yours,
Yeah,
yeah, yours are
right
more
before
recent.
COVID.
Yeah. Yours are more recent than mine. Super cool, man. All right. Well, hey, last two questions for you. If Matt Young was a superhero, what superpower would you have?
Oh man, time travel.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. First place you'd go in the past or in the future?
Oh, in the past.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. My final one for you. One of my favorites. If you could have a meal with anyone, past or present, dead or alive, who would it be?
Wow. Maybe who would be good to have a dinner with? I don't know. Maybe Mark Twain.
Yeah. Interesting. Awesome. Well, hey, man, super fun. With that, thank you again for your time. I mentioned just yeah, I'm appreciative of the time that you gave me to do this interview. I know it's late out there, so thank you for that. And again, it's an honor just to have this time to share this story with you and just to talk about your personal life and music. So thank you again. But with that, now I want to turn the floor over to you. Any final words before we close out this amazing interview?
I mean, just I appreciate the time. It's great. It's fun. I'm pretty boring, but it's great chopping it up with
God,
you. And just Chris would kill me if I don't say this. Yeah, we have a new wax fed coming out. So if you want
dude,
one,
sick. When is that dropping?
yep. Um, soon.
Oh, I love it.
Probably at the end of summer, probably.
Oh, freaking amazing. I look forward to it. You guys dropping it digitally or is that coming out in hard copy?
That'll be on wax. Yep.
Fantastic. I look forward to it. Super.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, and there's Hassan. I did a flip on one of Hassan's things that's just coming out. It's called oh, um, Goliath. Oh God, I'm totally screwing up the name. I'm horrible with names. He's also going to kill me too. But that is coming out or is out now.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a 7 inch and digital.
Oh, yeah. You have to send me that link, man. I look.
Oh yeah,
No. Yeah. Oh, super cool. Yeah. Hey, thanks. This was super fun. I look forward to getting this out and just again diving more into your music, man. Very educational. I appreciate sharing with me the pocket of Maine and how hip hop, kind of evolved and other stories out there. It was great. Thank you so much.
yeah, no problem. It's my pleasure. Thanks for talking.